Good morning. It is Saturday. Saturday, September 7th. And we got a bunch of runners on the road dancing that we just passed. I wasn't quick enough to show you. It looks like they're having some kind of a running event here on Route 2, the Klondike Highway. We are headed to Skagway, and we're gonna take it a little slow because there's several stop-offs. Emerald Lake is supposed to be a beautiful view. Carcross is like a desert in the middle of the mountains. The Welcome to Alaska sign as we re-enter into Alaska from the Yukon for the last time before boarding the ferry towards Washington. So yeah, it's a beautiful sunny morning this morning. This is kind of our view going down the road. Fall colors are still beginning to show themselves, and there's one of the runners. Anything you want to say, honey? We had a little bit of a scare yesterday. We pulled into Whitehorse, and Tom disconnected the truck, and then at first it kind of gave like a wrench error, a drivetrain error, and we were like, oh boy, not again.
Another transmission.
But then that error went away. We pulled up his Ford app because that will register errors that your truck shows up. But apparently that error showed up on like August 3rd, even though the wrench showed up yesterday. So it was a little weird. But the wrench went away, and then next thing you know, this little check engine light came on, and it signaled like a possible emission issue. So we called the dealership in the Ford dealership in Whitehorse and talked to the service manager, and he said, yeah, it's probably nothing too much to worry about, that can wait till you get to the lower 48. So we took it out for a drive because we had to run a few errands, and so then after doing some more Googling, I was like, well, it says it could also just be like a dirty sensor, and we have a ton of dust on the truck. Essentially, Tom started to take it over to wash it, seeing if maybe that would clear the error. But by the time he got over to the wash, one, he forgot it takes, Canadian coins to wash, but he pulled it over there, and praise be to God, the daggone error went away. So we connected it with no errors on it this morning and was able to put it in neutral tow. So we're just thankful that the truck looks great this morning. So whatever it was, it's all gone.
See what happens in Skagway.
We'll see what happens in Skagway. Because we do have a back end site, we don't have a pull through, so we are going to have to disconnect, and so we're just praying that everything stays uneventful till we can at least get on the ferry and down to the lower 48. It's a little disheartening because it's been a great truck, but it's a little nerve-wracking when these little errors keep popping up. So
running barefoot.
yeah, so oh my gosh, that guy was running barefoot. But yeah, so you can see there's definitely traffic along this route because there's a ton of runners, and I don't know if all of these RVs these little rigs pulled off to the side, I think, might be support vehicles for this event. So anyway, we won't keep you this morning. I know I tend to be long-winded. Tom always says I throw too much detail in, but I ramble. But hey, it's nice to talk to y'all. So we will keep you posted and hopefully bring you some scenic views as we stop along our route today. So have a blessed day, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye. Okay, we are at the Carcross Desert. It's literally a desert in the middle of the mountains, which is wild. Pretty amazing. You would not expect to find a desert out here in the middle of the mountains. Town of Carcross. Beautiful water. The mountains. It's gorgeous.
Sand dunes.
And sand dunes. It blows me away. Apparently there was a landslide that occurred on Highway 2, so there's only one lane traffic, and we are currently following a pilot car. So we thought we would film the crews in action so you can see what they're doing to fix the landslide. Oh. if they were having a bunch of rain this way or something, and so it caused things to loosen up. Talking to some of the locals, it sounded like landslides are almost a common normalcy of things. Although there was one in, oh, I forget the name of the town, but it sounds like it took out a couple houses and a couple people may have died. What was the name of that town?
Dead people down.
No, babe, that's insensitive. So yeah, that looks like where it happened, up on that road, or hill rather. So it must have come down pretty good, because it looks like quite the cleanup.
Trouble yet, we're still in an avalanche area.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, that was the end of the construction, so this pilot car is probably going to turn off up here and we will continue our trip to Skagway. I tried to film earlier this morning, but it was way too dark for the cameras to pick up. But good morning from Skagway, Alaska. We are at the cruise or ferry terminal, and the ferry has arrived. As you can see, it's right there. And we pulled in this morning, checked in about 4:40 for a 7:45 departure. These are the lanes that they have you line up in, and we are in lane 6. There's Tom walking the dog one last time. We have to be by our rigs by 6:15. Sorry, it's been an early morning, so I'm a little tired and just ready to get on the ferry so we can get over to Washington. So we got Phil's truck up front and then our rig ready to go. When we booked the ferry, they originally had us booked as if we were connected, and so we checked into the port a couple days ago just to kind of get the lay of the land and stuff. Well, it turned out they were supposed to book us separate, because when you're flat towing in a Class A, it's, you know, difficult to back up. And so because Skagway, the port, the way it's situated, you have to pull in. It's I guess a side port that you pull in, and so it may require some maneuvering and backing up. So they ended up having to re-ticket us, but it turned out to be a blessing because we ended up getting $340 back, because I guess of the length. It was cheaper to have us booked separate, so that was awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna have to drive on to the ferry, and Tom's gonna have to drive on to the ferry. So he's gonna attempt to record while I also attempt to record. So we'll see how this pans out, but wanted to make sure, you know, that you get a good glimpse of what it's going to be like to board the ferry in a rig here in Skagway. So more to come. It's kind of nerve-wracking but exciting all at the same time. So check in soon. Bye. All right, it has begun. They're calling the big rigs on first. So Phil is the first one going in, and as you can see, even the port guys are filming this big sucker going on. So I think they're enlightened with the Brinkley going on. They must get mostly travel trailers, maybe? They must not be used to the bigger rigs. More to follow. And there goes Tom. As you can see, the Brinkley is going down the ramp ever so slowly. And I pray that Tom will be able to record and drive at the same time. Now you can see Tom starting to make the drive down the ramp. Oh, and you can see the mountaintop finally peeking its head out through the clouds. It's been hard to see the mountain since we've been staying here, because the clouds have been crazy. So we got the rigs going on. I think they said it's like a floating dock. I don't know. So gotta be intimidating. I'm almost kind of glad I'm not in there. Because they say sometimes, depending on the tide, it can cause a bigger concern for scrapes and things. Like if the tide is low or if the tide is too high, you can end up, you know, scratching up your rig or something. So they do have height restrictions and weight restrictions depending on the boat that you go on, and the ports also have restrictions. So it's very important to look it up and ask all the questions and double check, because again, like I said previously, sometimes they said the customer service people aren't always familiar with the ports when they're booking. They're just kind of running through their process, and so if they don't know the port, they could end up booking you improperly, kind of like they did with us. Although, you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. They were able to just kind of re-ticket us, but we had to disconnect, and, you know, so our rigs won't be together. So we'll end up coming off the ferry at different times based on how they're loading. And there goes Tom. Now he is in. Going in. I'm on the dock, and there's the door. They're gonna let this one rig go in ahead of me. And then they're gonna load me in. So I'll try to film as I drive through, but I can't guarantee because I'm a little preoccupied trying to drive and follow their instructions. So as you can see, they do take extra care to make sure that you don't scrape if possible. But as they say, they can't guarantee it. So you're basically going at your own risk when you're coming in. Okay, and now I'm at the entrance of the ship, waiting on further direction. Now they got me coming all the way around. And I am parked and I am in place. As you can see, it is very snug in here. They've got us sardined in. Okay, so this is the truck. And it's loading in. Holy smokes. There's the Brinkley. That's not much room. It's supposed to be lanes. We've gotten off the boat in Haines and given the dog a stretch and a walk so that he can use the restroom and do his thing. There's our rig. We thought we'd be pulling into like the city of Haines where we could maybe look at some of the stores and stuff, but apparently the terminal is outside of the city, so no such luck exploring Haines, but that's okay. We departed Haines and we're cruising on down. I don't know what it's called, a channel or what the heck is it? Puget Sound? Is that what it is? Sitting at the back of the boat, just enjoying this most beautiful day. walk in so that he gets his exercise.